Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do start, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of things have happened. We had Deku, and we also had the fact he was turned over to a small military group. Now, Deku, a man took him in. The man who encountered Deku not too long ago. He thought that Izuku could be a meal ticket. Somebody in his group could. If he turns him over to a group that is known to give out supplies for people. I mean, this is only one of the groups that exist in the city. And he taught Deku not only a trick to survive, but how to walk through the hordes of zombies. Since Izuku, he was missing one very small key aspect. Some of these things hunt by smell, and hiding your scent is an easy way to walk through a horde. This guy had himself and Deku covered in zombie guts, and he took Deku on a stroll through the heart of the city, where not only did he explain a few things, he led Deku right to the door that they both never walked out of. Izuku was turned over, handcuffed, beaten, and then hung up where he couldn't barely reach the ground, in a room full of people. And that was where Deku was last seen. But we also had over with the other group. Bakugo, Kendo, and Denki. Sadly, Denki was killed by a deceiver. And this is very bad. Kendo and Bakugo managed to escape. But Kendo, she had to drag Bakugo out of that store while Denki was being eaten alive. At least, that part she didn't know about. Whenever the explosion went off, she thought that Denki was killed. He was right there, covered in dust, covered in flour, and with the bag still partially full, maybe, in his destroyed contain. There's so much that happened within that time. I mean, Bakugo fired at it, it slashed Denki. He fired a gun. Bakugo was thrown backwards to the air. Her ears were ringing, and it talked like a person. This thing actually spoke. It sounded too human. And whenever she saw it outside, God, that was so much worse. Now, she got Bakugo back to the base to get him some proper medical attention. And Ochako, after learning that Deku was also injured as well, she hauled ass to their outpost. And he was not found. Now, that was a few days ago, and currently a number of things have happened. Bakugo has been getting some treatment, but it has not been easy, and the group, they have had to face their own little bit of difficulty there. But we're not focusing on them. We're focusing on Izuku. Deku, he does sit there in the room, his face swollen and his body full of pain. And he does sit there, him trying to breathe. With his arms over his head, it's getting more difficult. He's not hanging off the ground, but sometimes he feels like he has to pull himself up. The way his arms are, it's not easy. And getting a proper breath of fresh air requires having to use his strength to pull him up. But these people are barely feeding them. There was 7, 8 people in this room, but now it's gone down. Now there's less. And Deku, he does just sit there. Him, concerned, confused. The doctor comes in every few hours. His thoughts, they feel so cloudy. But he's still here. He's not gonna let them just kill him. Dissect him? No. The doctor came in the other day and they said something. No, he was too drugged up the other day. Come on, Izuku. Come on, you got this. What did they say? It going through Deku's mind. And Deku, he does go look up. Him seeing All Might standing there. And the man does take a step forwards, and Deku does stare at him looking at the symbol of peace. But he's not alive. He knows that. So why is he seeing him? Has he lost his mind? Has the infection taken a toll on his mind? Is he turning? What even is this? How do you rationalize this? I see you. Someone gonna look up. And Deku, he's staring at nothing. Them watching him continue on. You died. I saw you dead. Wherever you're here for, stop. Stop haunting me. I didn't do anything. I saved people. I tried to survive. I'm still a good person. It was an accident. The guy was an accident. Now, two of the people in the room, they do stare on. And that is a bit of a concern. As right now somebody else, they are brought in. And it is kind of surprising. Them currently going to be hung up by their arms as the doctors will walk in. Them going to turn and stare directly at Deku. Right now him missing his shoes and his shirt. Along with the fact that his belt does have the knife taken off of it. And Deku, he does just don't stand there. Right now the doctor going to turn and inform them. Take subject 13 down. Fact is, she wants to conduct a few tests on him, along with also checking his injuries. Since so far, they know that he has been exposed, and he is one of their rare subjects who have not taken off a limb. And this, it does somewhat alarm them. Deku turning his head and currently going to see the girl, her missing her shirt, along with her shoes, and her having her arms tied up over her head. However, she does have a ball gag in her mouth, stopping her from screaming out, since apparently she may have been very vocal. And Deku, whenever he is allowed to be lowered to the ground, he doesn't immediately collapse. Him sucking in a breath as he does go to look up. Them informing him to stand and to follow, especially if he does want some actual water. And the person, they're going to turn to the doctor. The doctor bringing their hand up and expressing they need to give him water. Along with that, the treatment on his wounds has been progressing well. They're healing. In fact, it's evident he was attacked by both an infected and a dog. So, they'll let him recover properly. They won't waste medical supplies on him, but they will test his blood and see what they can find. Along with that, maybe conduct a proper interview. If they show that they are not hostile, if they tell him everything, perhaps he'll be receptive to join. Fact of the matter is, she's sure a young man like him would want this to be over, would want everybody to be cured. And Deku, he does look up. Him, currently, going to try and get to his feet, but he does feel weak. He feels starved, of both sleep and food. And currently he does walk out. Him coming to a room and being sat down. With the doctor, they do try to tell him a few things. Currently Deku having half of a bottle of water set in front of him, as he also have something set to the side. And it currently is in the hand of an armed guard, sitting on the table. And Izuku, he's pretty sure he knows why exactly this might be. They want to know how he survived, where he's been, how he may have been captured. The other guy, he doesn't know what they did with. And honestly, at this point, he's not sure if he cares. With that girl back in the room, she's new. She's got all of her strength. They haven't beaten her yet. Maybe they want to show her it's pointless to fight. Do something different with her. Though if she's... No, no. They gagged her. She might be in the other stages of infection. Shit. If that's the case, then they want a zombie. A not living host, but something for the virus. No, 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 no. That's a bad idea. That gag, it'll eventually melt off of her face. If the skin gets too loose, then... No, no, Izuku. That shouldn't be possible. It will take time for that to happen. Weeks at best. And by then you might already be... Him gonna stop. And having that thought run through his mind. These people might kill him. And the doctor does come to walk in. Them trying to ask a few questions. And Deku, whenever he does get a turn looking at the person, they do go to express. Going to actually turn and grab the piece of food on the table. Them sliding a sandwich in front of Deku. And Deku does go look down. Staring on for the person, they do to hold their hand out, encouraging him to take a bite. But Deku, he does still stare down, turning his head back to the doctor. And the doctor, they do see that look in his eyes. This is a deal with the devil, and there's clearly something that he might have to give for that deal. The doctor, they do get a smile. Them are going to bring their hand down and grab the PB&J. And they do to express, currently going to hold the sandwich and put it right in front of Deku's face. Him still staring at the person. His eyes going to wander down to the sandwich before going to turn back to the person. And they can tell. Izuku does want to break. He does want to fold. He wants to eat. He's a very hungry, growing boy. And that's exactly what the doctor wants to talk to him about. Since they looked at a few charts of his blood, and they're confused by something. Since he has an anomaly present in his bloodstream, something that they have not seen before. And currently, the doctor does set down the PB&J. They want to turn and walk over. Grabbing something, we're going to turn and walk back over and set it down. Them going to express. Setting down a full canteen of water. That drink. They want to have a conversation, and his throat should be coated well. It will be a long talk. And she has a turn, expressing to the guard to leave the room, since he won't understand half of the shit they talk about. But leave the gun. I'm going to do so. And the doctor, they do walk over and sit down in his chair. I'm going to stand outside. And they do begin to express. They're here to talk. See about something. Though they're confused by quite a bit of the things that they saw in his blood. They go looking up. Before going to turn and grab the canteen. Right now his hands still handcuffed, as he's to open it up and begin to gulp down mouthfuls of water. The doctor trying to tell him that if he doesn't slow down, he'll puke, and that will just be a waste of resources on him. And Deku, he's going to take 2 more gulps. Him going to turn and sit down the canteen, screwing back on the top, and going to actually bring it down onto his lap. And Deku, he does actually lay his head down, him sucking in a breath as he does feel better, since that is the most water he's had in some time. Though, he's worried about this. An anomaly present in his blood? Yeah, he's pretty sure he might know what they're talking about. And the doctor, they do try to ask exactly if he might be a late bloomer, if his quirk popped up recently. Fact of the matter is, he has the genome of somebody who should be quirkless, but he isn't, is he? It's quite a shame though. In fact, she thought that they finally found somebody who was immune to all this bullshit. And Deku does get a turn looking up, the doctor watching that she caught his attention. And she doesn't continue, her trying to hide the smirk on her face. It's quite tragic. Here she thought that their golden goose was finally brought into their lap. In fact, she felt a little bit bad about what they did to that man. Mark? Though, not really. Since they figured out that the pathogen can still affect him. In testing, his blood is still able to be contaminated with it. In fact, she does have a question. Her gonna bring up her hand, being a bit of a Poindexter, pointing it up, asking him, exactly what stage of the infection does he think he's in? And Deku stares at her, confused. Stage? What are you talking about? Oh, so he does speak. Yes, your stages. What do you think that there are? Stage 1. Infected. You begin to notice that your body is breaking down, as well as potentially your mind. Though, that takes a lot of time. Stage 1 is a slow burning process. In fact, one of the worst things we discovered about it is it could take months. At best, it could take days. So, what do you think that you found? Stage 1 is the beginning of deterioration of your mind, along with breakdown of your body. Not only does the mind begin to liquefy, the body, bones, and organs do begin to as well. In fact, the best thing that we have discovered is that everything breaks down. So, what stage do you think that you're in? And that's stage 1? Yup. Stage 2 is sociopathy, or, in the best way of saying it, mental deterioration. It's believed that the mind breaks down first, completely and totally before the body. In fact, many of the infected that we've encountered, they do seem to be still receptive to mental stimuli. But many people believe, along with me, that that is mainly due to survival instinct, strongly tied into human nature, strongly tied into animal characteristics and nature, instinct, stuff that just can't go away. So, if that's stage 2, what do you think stage 3 is? There are 4 stages. I don't know. You don't know. Possible rapid mutation, stage 3. If you can avoid that, then you go to stage 4. What is stage 4? An anomaly. But you're in stage 0. You're infected, but it's not active in your system. That's what we're trying to understand. Your genome says that you have a quirk. At least, that's what we're able to verify. Your DNA, however, shows you should be quirkless. So, how the fuck did that happen? If you work with us, we won't have to dissect you. In fact, you're more valuable alive than you are dead. We want to run more tests on you. Test your blood and see what we can do. Synthesize it, maybe. Use it to create a cure. Infect one of our test subjects and cure them. In fact, that's what we have planned for that girl we just brought in. Prime material. Stuff that we can use. In fact, we thought about infecting her just so that we can analyze her more. Expose her more. Funny enough, you can bypass the activation phase of stage 0. Go into stage 1 immediately. Do you know how? No. That shouldn't be possible. The activation of quirks causes you to get more infected. Oh, so he does know something. What do you know exactly? That's all I know. We figured it out because some of our friends were infected. People from UA. You're from UA? Let me guess. General Studies? Class 1E, D, C, B? The Hero Course. Oh boy. You see, now that is something. It is theorized that Quark Singularity would hit one day. You children grow stronger and stronger. Better than the last, what, generation? Though civilization was believed to be able to break down within 2 or 3 generations. Though, that may not be the case anymore. So let me ask you again. Exactly, what are your abilities? And were you born with them, or did you manifest them later on in life? I don't know what to tell you. If I give you the actual answer, you won't believe me. You'll just want to tear me open and find out what it is. Besides, I already have to deal with him mocking me. Deku turning his head and staring at something sitting against the wall. And the doctor, they do get a turn, staring at nothing. They stare at nothing. Then I'm turning back to Deku. Since initial data shows he's in phase 0, but the pathogen couldn't have spread that far in just a few days. Is it possible the medication suppressing his immune system? That might need to be looked into. It going through the doctor's mind. And Deku, he just stare at the doctor. Them going to stand up with a syringe in hand. Going to express. They gave him a chance to eat. And they want him to eat. Otherwise, they will prick him with a needle and put him back to the cell, before they analyze him further and actually begin to take tissue samples. So, what will it be? Either have the strength to actually fight, stay alive, and let that immune system of his properly get nourishment, or starve, be given the scraps, and actually have to rely on them. At one point, she's fairly certain that he'll be bedridden, just like some of the others. In fact, some of them are no longer useful. She can go outside, put a bullet in his head, and open up a bed for him right now. Though, there's a lot they can do. With proper medical expertise, he will be with them for a long, long time. Though, she doesn't want to waste samples. Maybe take off an actual limb. See what they can do there. A leg, maybe? Or an arm. You see, now that's something. Though, her gonna walk over to Deku, expressing one thing. Right now him bring his hands down onto the table, and grabbing the sandwich, beginning to bite into it. They will be taking something from him right now, today, but he will need to remain still. And Deku, he's a turn looking at the doctor. Right now one of his hands eating the sandwich, as he does have the canteen in his other hand. Right now the doctor going to turn and yell for one of the guards. And whenever the guard is come running into the room, Deku, he has a turn. Right now him going to stand up and immediately turn, smashing the canteen or water container into the side of the person's head. The woman falling down to the ground with a needle in her hand. And the man, he has a turn, bring up his weapon. Deku going to turn and toss the water container directly at the man. Right now it going to hit him in the face as Deku, he has a lunge forwards. And try to fight the man for his gun. Now, the doctor, they do to feel the side of their head. It right now leaking blood, as they are annoyed. And Deku, he currently does climb on top of the man. Him still weakened, but still trying to put up a bit of a fight. He has had a gym. He's had a place to train and a place to properly work on his strength. He has not given up on his training, but he's tired, he's hungry, and he's dehydrated. This guy, he is a well-rested soldier. he might be a little hungry and tired, but compared to Deku, he's in top physical condition, especially because he hasn't been beaten every day. And Deku, he is pulled off of the soldier. Right now, him being slammed to the ground as he makes a turn. Him holding up his gun directly into Deku's face. The doctor yelling out that they need to keep him alive. Though, take a finger. That's what she wants. And the man has a turn, staring at the doctor, a bit confused, but sure, whatever. Him would actually reach down, gonna grab Deku's hand as he's to slam it down to the ground and tell the guy what to do. The guy going to have a bit of a smile as he has a turn grabbing his knife off of his holster. And they do get to take Deku's finger. One on his left hand, as is the one right now, third in the row next to his middle finger. And Deku, he's gonna feel the searing pain. Right now, one of the guys gonna bring down a cigar and gonna light it. Them gonna do so as they do go to then take the lighter and put it directly over Deku's finger. Deku being held down as it does begin to cauterize. Now, the doctor, they do to bend down, grabbing the finger and they're gonna turn, injecting something into Deku's neck since he will be valuable. If they need to, they'll take him piece by piece. But this was just a bit of a lesson. He wanted to try to fight. So if they do need to, they'll take him apart piece by piece. Especially if he keeps fighting. And that is a lesson Izuku, he might sadly need to learn. If he keeps it up, they'll keep taking pieces. More and more important. They plan to start out a bit small. Smaller than this. But they might have to up their timetable. Especially if he is possibly immune. And that, it does get through their minds. And currently Deku, he does get to wake up hours later. It, sometime in the night, as he does a look up. Him trying to wiggle his fingers and finding that one of them, they don't move. And Izuku, he does a turn looking in the room. Seeing the person to his right, they just somewhat lay there limp. And he's pretty sure that they might be dead. Though he does a turn, going to ignore that. If they're dead, they're no longer a concern. Izuku turning to see the person who just arrived today. And he has to do one thing. He does gonna try and stand up more on his toes. Him trying to move his hands up further and further, trying to get off of the hook they put him on. And Deku, he has a turn looking at the person. Them trying to do the exact same thing. And Deku, he does go to actually let go for a second. And slide back down. Him looking at them and trying to talk about it. They need to know. They might hurt you. Listen, I don't know what they're doing, but clearly they want us. They think I'm important. You got energy, right? Them gonna just want to shake their head. And Deku, he has to tell them. If they can get him off the hook, they want him. And they want to experiment. They might try to infect her. If they do that, they'll try to use his blood to cure them. These people are all fucking psychos. And he wants them dead. He wants them all dead. And the girl, she does just want nod, seeing a bit of hatred in Deku's eyes. And Deku, he does just want lay there. Him going to actually put more weight down on his wrist and trying to just think. The handcuffs digging into his wrist as he does just want sit there. Trying to regain energy. Sleep. It's not going to be fun. It never is. But he needs the rest to make a plan. If they take her tomorrow morning and beat her, things won't be good. Things never will be. And Deku, well, he doesn't look down. He starts looking into the eyes of All Might. The man bending down and staring right at him. As Deku, he stares back at the man, him a lot more annoyed. He's not crazy. He's just not. But we do cut somewhere else. Over with the zombies. And deep under the city. The pit. They feel something. They know there's something wrong. It's aware of it. He can feel it. Something nearby. Something that belongs. And it does get a turn. It feels like a part of it. It wants it back. It needs to rejoin. Come home. Join the hive again. And that is currently on its mind. It will send something to retrieve it if possible. It will send something to fetch it. Send something for it. It needs that piece. The piece of the puzzle missing. It feels clear in his there, her. Its mind. It feels clear. It knows what it is. But what is that? Why does it want it so bad? Why does it feel that peace? Why can it sense it? And that is currently a problem. As something, it does gonna crawl right out of the pit. It's gonna bring its hands up and look down, a lot more concerned. Since this, it is its task. Find whatever that is. Take it down. No, don't eat it. Bring it in. Find it. Retrieve it. Fetch. That currently on the deceiver's mind. And it does it stand up. Right now it on its back legs and going to turn. As it is a staring at the waters and understand its goal. Head up. Leave. Retrieve. Recover. And currently is a turn. It's gonna run on all fours and leaving. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.